Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. This is Joe, the bearded historian. He'll tell you an interesting story. Be careful of his soldiers, they can be brats. This is Angel, she's an entity. She'll cause chaos and plant her hands at you. This is Sue, she likes spirits, not the alcohol. She's the reason this channel exists. This is David, he likes fire trucks. He's here occasionally. Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. We preserve his story.
Morning, it's Wednesday. Today's video is about an adventure of sorts. Hope you find it somewhat interesting. Are you ready? Here we go. Shout out time. Here's a shout out just for you. You support me, so I'll support you. This shout out is for our friends. Let's see who it is today. We have a pirate race. Us pirates use boomsticks, right? Little hand cannons, sort of, sometimes. Anyway. Ready? Here we go. Shout out time. Here's a shout out just for you. You support me, so I support you. This shout out is for our friends. Let's see who it is today. Alright, so off we go to our superhero race. Here we go. And then we've got She Stole, there's Alice, there's Monty, there's Faces, there's Twister, Hiking Ontario, Susan, Jamaican, I, Not Your Daily, Faces, Spectral, Keep Digging, Debbie, there's Carol, there's Antoinette, there's Catching, Twister, Cable, Crystal, towards the back, hanging out in the back there, Lower, Mark, let's see, who else do I see? Rick and Leo, there's Alice, there's Gloria coming up from the back, A&M's currently in the lead, there's Sophia and my Linda, Twister and Josie and Rye. Oh, Twister's going to win, hold on. Okay, so Miss Twister has changed her name to Lady Wisteria, MSR Stories. Mostly tells stories of all kinds because I really enjoy storytelling. And then there's a little bit about the membership. And then, as you can see, she's done some lives and got one coming up. Some shorts with some really cute little plushies. But most of her videos are just ASMR stories. And they're really good stories, very fun. Paranormal, supernatural, all kinds of interesting little legends here. So check her out. Like, share, comment, and have a good day. All right, Mr. Byrne, tell them something interesting.
I'll try to tell them something interesting.
No, don't try.
I'll try.
No.
Some of these people are hard to work with. You know, it's quite a task to try to keep these people educated, enlightened, and having fun. But we have a guy with the happy name of John Moses Browning. For those of you who have no idea who this is, he was born in 1855, January 23rd. And, you know, most of us when we were young would play with toys and stuff like that. At the age of 13, this guy made his first firearm, working around in his dad's gun shop. And interestingly enough, he would get a first patent on a firearm at the age of 24 in 1879. But the Browning name would become quite synonymous with firearms. A little bit of the backstory on Mr. Browning. His dad had just gotten out into Utah with a number of the Mormons who were traveling cross country to Utah. Set up a gunsmith shop in 1852. 3 years later, his son was born. Now, the interesting part out of all this, he started working for his dad at the age of 7. So he grew up around firearms of all sorts. He was taught basic engineering and manufacturing principles, encouraged to experiment with new concepts, uh, developed the first rifle, a single-shot falling block design action, while he was still his father's apprentice. In 1878, in partnership with his younger brother, co-founded John Moses and Matthew Sandifer Browning Company, later renamed the Browning Arms Company. When this company began producing the brothers' designs and other non-military firearms. Well, by 1882, the company would employ John and Matthew's half-brothers, Jonathan, Thomas, William, and George. Well, like Browning, he was a member of the Mormons and served a 2-year mission in Georgia beginning in March 28, 1887. He would get married to a Rachel Child in September 14th, 1860, till September 30th, 1934. On April the 10th, 1879, in Ogden, Weber County, Utah Territory, the couple had 10 children.
Yeesh.
Sadly, 2 died in infancy.
No, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
Not in that day and age.
Yeah. Now, it says production examples of the Browning Model 1878 single-shot rifle would catch the attention of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, who dispatched a representative to evaluate the competition. Winchester would actually buy the design for $8,000 and then move the production to their Connecticut factory. And from 1883, Browning worked in partnership with Winchester and designed a series of rifles and shotguns, most notably the lever-action Winchester Model 1887 and the Model 1897 pump shotgun, a falling block single-action Model 1885, and the lever-action Model 1886, Model 1892, Model 1894, and Model 1895 rifles. Now, interestingly enough, after the falling out with Winchester, Browning would design the long recoil-operated semi-automatic Remington Model 8 rifle. Now, what's crazy is many of these models are still in production today in some form. There's over 6 million Model 1894s that have been produced as of 1983, more than any other sporting rifle in history. That's a lot of rifles.
That is a lot of rifles.
Well, Winchester would manufacture several popular small arms designed by John Browning, and for decades in the late 19th century, early 20th century, Browning's design and Winchester firearms were synonymous, and the collaboration was highly successful. This came to an end when Browning proposed a new long recoil-operated semi-automatic shotgun design, a prototype that was finished in 1898 to Winchester management, which ultimately became the Browning Auto 5 shotgun. As was the custom of the time, Browning's earlier designs had been sold exclusively to Winchester for a single-fee payment, and with this new product, Browning and his brother Matthew sought royalties based upon unit sales rather than the single front-end fee payment. If the new shotgun became highly successful, the Browning Company stood to make substantially more income. Well, Winchester, which had agreed to royalties in an earlier Browning shotgun design that was never manufactured, now refused to accede to the Browning's terms. Remington Arms also was approached, but the president of the company died of a heart attack when the Brownings were waiting to offer him the gun.
Well then.
Remington will later produce a copy of the Auto 5 as the Model 11, which was used by the U.S. military, was also sold to civilian markets. Well, having successfully negotiated the firearm licenses to Fabric National de Herstal of Belgium, Browning took the new shotgun design to FN. The offer was accepted, and FN manufactured the new shotgun, honoring its inventor as the Browning Auto 5. The Browning Auto 5 was continuously manufactured as a highly popular shotgun throughout the 20th century. In response, Winchester shifted reliance away from John Browning's designs when it adopted a shotgun design of Thomas Crossley Johnson for the new Winchester Model 1911 SL. Johnson had to work around Browning's patents.
Oops.
What became the Auto 5 and the new Model 1912 pump shotgun, which was based in small part upon design features of the earlier Browning designed Winchester Model 1897 shotgun. Now, this shift would mark the end of an era for the Winchester-Browning collaboration. Well, John Browning was known as a dedicated and tireless innovator and experimenter who sought breakthrough consumer-oriented features and performance and reliability improvements in small arms designs. He did not retire in later years, but dedicated his entire adult life, literally, to his last day to these pursuits. On November 26, 1926, while working at the bench on a self-loading pistol design of Fabrique Nationale de Herstal, or FN in Liege, he would die of heart failure in the design shop of his son, Val A. Browning. Well, talk about your dedication to the trade. Even the 9mm semi-automatic pistol he was working on when he died had great design merit and was eventually completed in 1935 by Belgian designer Devon Saïve. Released as the Fabrique Nationale GP35, it is more popularly known as the successful Browning high-power pistol, a favorite of sportsmen and gun collectors, as well as many military and law enforcement agencies around the world. Well, the premium-priced Browning Superposed shotgun, an over-under shotgun design, was his last completed firearm design. It was marked originally as with twin triggers. A single trigger modification was later completed by his son, Val, and commercially introduced in 1931 by FN. Browning Superposed shotguns and their more affordable cousins, the Browning Citori, made in Asia, continued to be manufactured into the 21st century and come with varying grades of fine hand engraving and premium quality wood. Well, throughout his life, Browning designed a vast variety of military and civilian small arms for his own company, as well for Winchester, Colt, Remington, Savage, Stevens, and Fabrique Nationale de Herstal of Belgium. Browning firearms have been made, both licensed and unlicensed, by hundreds of factories around the world. The Browning Arms Company was actually established in 1927, the year after Browning's death. In 1977, FN Herstal acquired the company. Well, for his legacy, the M1930, the 1895 machine gun, which saw action in the Spanish-American War with the United States Marine Corps, the Colt M1911, Browning in 1917 and 1919, and the BAR saw action with U.S. forces in World War I, World War II, and the Korean War. The M1911 went on to serve as the U.S. standard military sidearm until 1986.
Wow.
Yeah, the variant, interestingly enough, is still used in special operations units of the Marine Corps, and design remains still very popular among civilian shooters and even some police departments.
Interesting.
The Browning H Power, high power, has had a similar lengthy period of military service outside the United States. The 50 caliber M2 Browning machine gun, the enduring Ma Deuce, was developed in 1918, entered service with the U.S. Armed Forces in 1921, and has remained in active service for over a century, with militaries across the world in a variety of roles. The 37mm M4 autocannon was initially designed by Browning in 1921 and entered service in 1938. It was used both in aircraft and on U.S. Navy PT boats during World War II. Now, for products, let's have some fun. You've got several Browning's designs are still in production today, and some of the more notable designs. For cartridges, you got .25 ACP, .32 ACP, .38 ACP, .380 ACP, .45 ACP, .50 BMG, and the 9mm Browning Long. You got firearms, pistols, you got the Colt Model 1900, Colt Model 1902, Colt Model 1903, the Pocket Hammer, the FN Model 9mm Browning Long, Colt Model 1903 Pocket Hammerless, the FN Model 1906 Vest Pocket, the Colt Model 1908 Vest Pocket, Colt Model 1908 Pocket Hammerless, FN Model 1910, FN Model 1922, and the US M1911 pistol. Browning High Power, the 9mm Parabellum, started at Browning but was completed by the FN Herstal. The Colt Woodsman pistol, You got shotguns, the Ithaca Model 37 pump-action repeating shotgun, the Stevens Model 520 and 620 pump-action repeating shotguns, Winchester Model 1887 lever-action repeating shotgun, Winchester Model 1893 pump-action repeating shotgun, Winchester Model 1897 pump-action repeating shotgun, Winchester Model... This guy's name's all over the place,
right,
on property. I mean, yeah, I can't understand why. Browning Auto 5 long recoil semi-automatic shotgun also produced the Savage Model 720, the Browning superposed over-under shotgun, the Remington Model 17, and the regular rifles. You got the Winchester Model 1885 falling stock single-shot rifle, 1886, 1890, 1892, 1894, 1895. And then the 1900 was a bolt-action single-shot rifle. Remington Model 8 semi-automatic rifle. Browning 22 semi-automatic rifle. Remington Model 24 semi-auto. The FN, funny enough, they called it the trombone. Pump-action rifle. Used 22 rounds. The M1918 Browning automatic rifle, also known as the BAR. Machine guns, you had the 1895 Colt Browning machine gun, which was an air-cooled, gas-operated machine gun. The M1917 Browning machine gun was a water-cooled, recoil-operated machine gun. 1919 Browning machine gun, air-cooled, recoil-operated machine gun. The M2 Browning machine gun, 50 caliber, heavy machine gun. The M4 Cannon, 37 millimeter automatic gun, work lapsed on death, was not restarted until 1934. Now, for all of these works, some of the patents that they have listed here, he got a patent for the Winchester 1885, 86, the 87, the 1890, 93, 97 shotguns, the 92 lever action rifle, the 94 lever action rifle, Browning Model 1895 machine gun, the 1895 lever action rifle, the 1900 Colt automatic pistol, the Winchester 1900 bolt-action single-shot 22 rifle, the Browning Auto 5 shotgun, also the Remington Model 11, the Savage 720, the Remington Model 8 semi-automatic rifle, the Browning machine gun, 1903's pocket hammerless automatic pistol, the Stevens 520 pump-action shotgun, the Colt Model 1905, the predecessor to the M1911, the FN Model 1906 and Colt Model 1908 vest pocket, the Colt 1911, Remington Model 24, Remington Model 17, the Ithaca 37 pump-action shotguns, the Colt Woodsman, and the BAR model of the 1918, the FN Trombone pump-action 22 caliber repeater, very rare in the U.S., it says. The 37 millimeter automatic cannons, the M1 and the M4, Browning superposed over-under shotgun, the FN and Browning high-power pistol. Yeah, when you look at this guy's resume, it says that, he got a total of 128 firearm patents, regarded as one of the most successful firearm designers of the 19th and 20th centuries. It was like this kid, when he was looking at the different ideas for firearms, he was a kid in a candy store.
Right.
And so everything he looked at, he either looked at as something that could be improved, adapted, and if he got an idea, by all means, he had the equipment, let's tinker. And so, starting at a ripe old age of 7 and working forward to making his first firearm at 13, this was his life, and apparently he also enjoyed sharing the joy of firearms with the world, because it was all over the U.S. It helped in World War I. It was very well known just pretty much about everywhere in the firearm industry. He would win awards for the John Scott Medal in 1905, and he got the Order of Leopold in 1914. So, but that's our birthday boy of January 23rd. Huh.
I thought there would be more about him.
Yeah.
I feel like we learned more about the guns than we did him.
Yeah, because he they didn't have a lot of background. Apparently, he lived for his work. He didn't have a life outside. Other
And yet
than,
he had like, what was it, 10 kids?
yeah, 8 that survived to adulthood, and he lived in his work. I mean, they told a little bit about him being part of the Mormon Church when they went missionary work over in Georgia. But it sounds like his work overtook the missionary work more than anything.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can call it about being John Browning, because it really wasn't about him.
No, it was more about his weapons.
Anyway.
Yep.
We're over for 15, so you want to say goodnight?
We'll say goodnight.
Hey. Boomstick.
Boomstick.
Or my hand cannon.
Your hand cannon? Boom. In 1892, apparently when he started out as a blacksmith.
Well, that makes sense.
And he also, worked with ammunition and fishing tackle. But then, let's see if I can pull it up here again. There we go. Yeah, Dad was an American inventor. Interestingly enough, his dad was known for what was known as a harmonica gun.
Did they blow on it?
Apparently, that's about what they did. It was almost like a
I'm not sure about you, but I don't think I want a gun that close to my face.
10-shot harmonica pistol. It was almost like a magazine. It said that it was a firearm designed with a breech load on the side slide, containing a number of chambers bored in that were filled with projectiles. Most harmonica guns are percussion cap guns, although some designs exist for compressed air guns. Some examples were made with a pinfire cartridge form. In percussion cap guns, each chamber contained a separate primer, powder charge, and projectile. The slide was inserted in an opening in the breech, so they didn't blow on it, but they would drag the harmonica across, and every time it would hit a spot, it would fire.
That's just...
It was almost like a mini machine gun. That's probably how they came up with the idea for the first magazine. You know how they'd slap in a magazine and a pistol? Right. But this one is across the front. The gun comes in both pistol and rifle models, as well as single action and double action.
Interesting.
Yeah. Apparently, a flintlock harmonica gun was patented by James Thompson in 1814. According to Clive Scott Chilson, in Following the Wrong God Home, A Footloose of the American Dream, the slide gun was independently invented by a Mormon gunsmith called Nicar Candle in 1838. It was from this gunsmith that Browning got the idea for his own harmonica guns when he moved to the area which Kendall was living around 1840. The most famous maker of harmonica guns was, again, Jonathan Browning, father of John Moses Browning. Commencing in 1834 in Quincy, Illinois, he began to make harmonica guns and more conventional revolving rifles. He continued to improve on the principle after he became a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and emigrated to Nauvoo, Illinois, and then finally Ogden, Utah. In 1837, a percussion gun harmonica gun was patented by Elijah Fisher and Dexter H. Chamberlain. In 1854, a pump-action harmonica gun was patented by Alexander Bain, and then a crank-operated harmonica gun was patented in 1856 by C.G. Terrell. But yeah, that is such a weird idea. I want to make noise.
It better to make noise.
Otherwise, why is it called a harmonica?
It better make noise. That's all I can say. It needs to make this little hummy sound. Yeah, it needs to make a hummy sound. Otherwise, it's a lie.
Show me your harmonica. No. Yes.
Or better yet, show me your gun and then pull out a harmonica.
Yes.
That would be fun.